Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wrestling Reads. It is a special, very special edition. I'm doing a little bit something different today. This is my Soul Communion series with my two of my favorite people on YouTube, Jazzy Jace and Tea Time with Tanya. How are you both, ladies?
Hey.
Fabulous.
I'm excellent because I'm here with you all, with you and Tanya. I was
I'm
looking forward to
excited.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic to have you guys here. Now, what I wanted to talk about with you ladies today is a few of our favorite things, past or present, that influenced you today. Either influenced you in coming onto YouTube or just created the person, the building blocks of the wonderful females that we see. I want to hear anything that is quirky. I want to hear about anything that is offbeat, anything that you love to do. I want to hear about it. Who would like to go first? Jace, do you want to go first?
I have to think about that question.
You want to think about
To
it?
me,
Tell me you want.
Tanya,
Tanya,
there-
you want to go? You ready?
Jace is ready.
You ready? Okay.
me?
Yeah.
You.
Oh,
Woo.
Tanya, you acted like you didn't even hear me. You know I was passing the bus. You know,
Well, you know what? You know what? You know what? You know what?
I just
Before
have
we
a
do
difficult time narrowing it down to a favorite thing. I have so many favorite things.
okay, before we do that, before we do
What
that,
would you like me to do?
how about we start off with a prayer?
That's a good
Um,
idea.
okay. Jace, would you like to lead us in a prayer?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, we just thank you for your presence, the presence of the divine, the presence of the light. We thank you that in that light we get the message of love from the presence of love in its many, many appearances. We thank you for bringing us together in something called a soul connection. And we thank you that we are connected. We thank you for your presence. Thank you.
Thank you. That
Yes.
was beautiful. And I named it. The reason why I wanted to name it, Soul Communion, is because I want to have a communion with you guys, to sit and break bread with the people that you care about, the people that you love,
Mhm.
um, and just to have a little bit of fellowship between us. And I think it's really something special, you know.
You.
So I would like to pull a card actually for us and see what we get. All right, so we got lapis lazuli.
Oh, a beautiful stone.
Lapis lazuli. And I love these cards because the amount of depth. It's the Crystal Spirits by Colette Baron Reed. And this guidebook is thick. It is so thick. And the messages are really beautiful. So let's see what we got for the lapis here. We got spiritual truth. These are the essential meanings. So spiritual truth, enlightenment, meditation, unity consciousness, and inner vision. And it reads, what you seek is here. If you push aside the distractions and fears created by your ego and become silent, tune in and phone home to the conscious universe, the source of all love, strength, and wisdom. The law of non locality ensures that you can gain whatever you need that is hidden from you when your mind is in a non-ordinary state of thinking and perceiving. You can achieve this through the practice of meditation and prayer. Reconnect with the conscious universe now. That's the message of this crystal. You're overdue for a renewal of your spiritual alignment. Lapis lazuli spirit also brings a reminder that your mind is a microcosm of the universal consciousness. You always have access to the conscious universe through the channel of your authentic self. Enlightenment comes when you go within and open to the light that is all around you and within you. Epiphanies abound once you quiet your chattering and tune in to the higher mind, where ideas beyond your current grasp flow easily, ready for you to assess them. So that is what we have for today.
Right.
And it's a beautiful stone. I love rocks and stones, and I do. I love to feel them.
Would you say that's in one of your favorite things, Jace?
So that would have to be one of my favorite things. I just love rocks. The ones that have something shiny in it. And it's not about it being precious. It just becomes precious because I think it's pretty.
So me too, Jace. As far as like loving stones, I can think back to me being, I don't know, 8 years old watching the QVC. The QVC specials, because they had those pretty crystals on them. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get that one if I have my own money. And I would get that one if I had my own money. And I would get that one. And oh, that is beautiful. What kind of crystal is that? Oh, that is just lovely.
Yes.
Here, let me reach into my pocket.
Ooh, the Daredevil is out to play. Daredevil.
No,
yes.
This is Deadpool.
Deadpool.
Oh,
Daredevil. Whoa.
Deadpool.
Same colors.
Deadpool. We're talking about our favorite things. My favorite thing is Deadpool. But I mean, we're talking about stones right now, so I'm just gonna pull out the stones that are in my pocket right now.
Okay.
So, and I got. Oh, look at this! Oh, look at that!
Ooh. Oh, that's pretty.
That's clear quartz. That's jade.
Hello, Risa. How are you?
Oh, no, that's not jade. That's aquamarine. That's jade. That's copper. See? Raise your vibration. Yeah. Don't just carry precious stones. Carry precious metals.
Yes.
And snowflake obsidian.
Oh, that's pretty. I love obsidian.
This is what I'm carrying this week.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess I'll go with one thing real quick, and I'll put, I love wrestling. To my channel, right? Woo, plug here. Right. But I grew up, and it's funny because my parents didn't really watch wrestling. I jumped into wrestling during the Attitude Era, so like, of course, the late 90s with The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin, and there was like 9 million people watching wrestling at one time. It's crazy to think about today.
Was the Hulk around then? Because I knew the names because they were making the TV rounds and stuff. But I just, okay, girl, yeah.
The Hulk was around. Well, the Hulk had been around since like the 80s, the 80s, late 70s. But he jumped. I mean, he reinvented himself kind of in the 90s, but that was in WCW. It wasn't in WWE. But how I got on to, then WWF. But how I got on to wrestling was my friend. One of my best friends at the time, she loved wrestling. So we would call each other up at, 8 o'clock every Monday and be like, oh, Monday Night Raw is on. Let's go. It's time. Did you see what The Rock said? And I had so much fun. And looking back on it, the reason why I can connect that to how that's uniquely me or how it shaped me today was that I'm pretty dramatic. Okay. I like dramatic things. I love to act. I always love movies and stuff like that. And wrestling is dramatic. Okay. It is a soap opera, a sports soap opera. Okay. It's sports theater. And, I just love the bigness and the grandioseness of the whole thing.
Wow.
Well, that's my
Now
link.
they have women that are doing it too, huh?
Yeah, I mean they've had women uh for a while. It's just like back in the 90s they didn't really put any respect on their name.
Oh yeah.
They were more of models than athletes. Uh
Mhm.
but nowadays they're really making a name for themselves. I mean, it still could be better because, to be honest, they still don't know how to book the women, in my opinion. But they
Mhm.
do, they do get a lot more shine, and I'm excited, for the ladies getting out there and getting their spotlight. But
Well, yeah. Yeah.
mhm.
I told you I know nothing about it. I really don't.
So are we doing just one favorite thing or a
Many
couple of
favorite
things?
things,
Many favorite
many
things.
favorite things, not just one. No,
I
throw
have
it out
so many
there.
favorite things.
Yeah, favorite things.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm ready if ain't nobody else ready.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
What's one of your favorite? What's another one of
What
your favorite things?
what makes me me? Okay, so the things that make me me, which are my favorite things, I think when I was a little kid, my I think the best thing about me was my imagination. I
Yeah.
would be in the bathroom, and that's where I literally spend most of my time is in the bathroom. And most of it, I'll be sitting on the thing, but not using it. I'm doing a crossword puzzle, drawing a
Yeah.
picture,
It's
doing
the
something.
office.
It is the office, but it has been since I was a little kid, and I
Mhm.
remember being a little kid turning around backwards so that I could have a stage on the lid of the commode, and all the lotion and all the bottles and everything were people, and I would have a whole elaborate plays. I would be acting out life, just all kinds of scenarios, and it made me happy. And that's part of, I'm a writer. I write books. I write
Mhm.
poetry, but I think my imagination is the my favorite thing about me, because
Mhm.
it's not something. Number one, it's not something that anybody gave to me. And
You're
number
right.
two, it's not something that anybody can take away from me.
That's
Um,
beautiful.
and I'm in complete control of it. I can choose to use it, I can choose not to use it. But I know that when I do use it, that's when I dream. That's when I draw. That's
Mhm.
when I'm happy, when I'm not brooding and sad. So, and it's like a friend. My
Yeah.
literally
Yeah.
my imagination is like a friend, because it's that thing that comes back to remind me, hey, you don't have to be in that dark place. You can create your whole world. You can create your own reality. You can write
Mhm.
it out. You can act it out. You can write a song about it, write a poem about it, but you don't have to exist in this pit that you have put yourself in.
Mhm.
Ooh, I think I'm doing therapy to myself right now.
All of both of us. I know that really touched my spirit because I was thinking when you were talking about your office was the bathroom. Mine was the we had a vanity, the old ones with the long mirror that used to separate the two chests of drawers. It was the arched thing. Well, uh, my mother would wash us up, clean us up, get us dressed, have us looking cute, and I would disappear because I wasn't out playing with anyone. but she could always find me in front of that mirror with a brush or a pencil putting on a show. I was always singing, and in my mind thank you, Tanya. Imagination that's the voice of God. That is the Holy Spirit speaking. In my heart of hearts, thank you so much for reminding me that. Imagine that my world, the world I created for myself when I dug the hole and was sitting in the hole. It's just you can fly. You are flying. You are flying, and you are creating. And as children, we were doing it so freely. It was it was life. It was life. Thank you, Tanya.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the second favorite thing I've confessed.
Well, and I think the third thing that completes me, because it's a culmination, because you're not you without even your flaws.
Right.
So I'll say the third favorite thing about me, and this is just me, and I am proud of this, is that I am not afraid to apologize when I'm wrong. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not afraid to take
Yeah.
responsibility for anything that I have done, said, or even thought.
Yes.
If I have talked crap about somebody and they come back and ask me, did I say that about them? I'm gonna tell them, yeah, I said it. Sorry, but I said it. And if I found out that I said something to someone or thought something about someone or made a judgment about someone and found out I was wrong, I will
Yes.
apologize
Yes.
to their face.
Yes.
And that, to me, and in me, I think that is my best trait.
Mm-hmm.
Because I never wanted to be. When I was 12 years old, I got caught stealing. Well, I didn't get caught stealing. I was thinking about stealing. And, and I have to put it that way, in Kmart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, back in 19, what, this was 1970, 76?
Kmart did that before Walmart became a.
Way before Walmart. But
Yeah.
this was like in 1976, 76, 78, somewhere around there. And I had a good $25, $30 in my pocket to buy presents. And I'm walking around the store with the cart. And I'm seeing these little things, and it's wintertime because I'm buying Christmas presents. And I got on my big parka.
Ha.
And my big parka's got lots of space in it. And I'm
Yes.
just thinking, oh, I could put this and then I could save that $7 and I could keep that instead of
Yeah.
having to buy him
Yeah.
a present and this. But I ain't left the store, ain't did nothing. My mother and her husband were sitting in the food court, and I would go and show my mother, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then go back off. The store detective grabbed my little black behind, drugged me upstairs because he been watching me all around the store. Now I ain't stole nothing,
Right.
but I'm thinking about it. I'm doggone thinking about it, but I ain't took nothing. But he snatched my little black behind up them stairs and got me in that office, sitting in the hardest chair I ever thought there was. And I mean, he's sitting there talking to me, and the only thing that I'm thinking is my mother is going to murder me.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't listening to a word. I'm like, please take me to jail. You know,
Right.
take me to jail.
Right.
Don't send me home. I
Yeah.
will not live to
I
see
took to go
tomorrow.
home to my mama.
But that experience, just that fear, and I know that was the universe to put
Mhm.
that fear in me to say, no, You do not touch things that are not
That are
yours.
not
You
yours.
do not try to take something from somebody else so you can save yourself a little bit of money. And that
Mm-hmm.
was the lesson that I have carried with me my whole life. That's the other thing I'm so proud of is I ain't gonna steal. You could drop $1 billion in front of me. I'm gonna stand over it, ain't gonna let nobody touch it, and I'm gonna be hollering like a banshee for
That's
you to come
right.
back and get
Right.
it. So my honesty, and that's what it is, because it only took one time, and it was the universe, because I did not leave the store with nothing, and I had not committed the crime. So the universe literally stopped me
Mm-hmm.
committing the crime and then put that into me that no, you don't do that. You don't even think about doing that.
How powerful was that thought, you know?
Mhm.
And it's lasted. And I mean, and it's the easiest thing. I'm not tempted by things. I'm not tempted to see, even if I'm on hard times, I'm not tempted.
Right.
I will beg, get on my knees, and if I need something that bad, I will beg you for it before I steal from you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mhm. Yep.
but
I'll
also,
ask. I had a situation where I was shopping with some friends, allegedly. I say allegedly because we were buying things just, school supply clothing. And I had money and I knew what I wanted. I used to carry these big bags, a big purse, a fashionable purse. And I had a habit of not zipping it closed, so it was always open. So I go to the counter, pay for my things. I assume they pay for theirs. We're walking out, and the store detective and the lady whose store it was standing out there, and we were stopped. Now I felt such fear. It was like, what? Now my bag had my receipt in it, praise God, because one of them had dropped something in my bag. And because I wasn't paying attention, I walked out of the store with an item that I didn't know I had. It, the the detective put the fear in me, He knew I was telling the truth because I didn't want, like you, I'm away on vacation with my aunts, and if my father,
ooh,
he will be here tomorrow. Mhm. And I do
shoot.
not want to have to know. So yeah, it's no fun being arrested, but that you can think it, and sometimes I have to admit, perhaps I am tempted, but it's so brief that I just keep walking.
But here now, because now the universe done did me in, because our memory just came as soon as I said I'm glad high school memory just invaded me.
Mm-hmm.
Lived on the doggone base, military kid, shopping at the BX. Yes, I did. In high school, yes, I did. I stole a carton of cigarettes and I stole a tracksuit.
Oh
And I
my!
was ashamed of myself.
Well, they weren't small items. I mean, it wasn't like a lollipop, I guess, or a bag of
And
chips.
it's like, I'm thinking, I'm like, I even have a picture, and I'm like, I mean, I completely erased that whole memory from my mind, being over here, being all holier than thou.
I am not. I'm not.
Oh,
I sure did. It was a fly tracksuit too. It was black and white, or was it blue and white? But that was when we used to wear tracksuits. So,
Hmm.
yeah,
Thank you.
back in the day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
but
you. Thank you.
I was still a kid though. So I
Yeah.
can say that in my adult life, I have not. So, but let me but that's the thing. I'm not ashamed to say when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know that, and and that's just me, because I I've done so much crazy stuff in my life. I think the whole thing I don't want to do. I don't want to be the person responsible for hurting somebody irrevocably,
Mm-hmm.
or leading somebody astray by what I say or do, or presenting something that is not genuine.
Right.
So I think, I kind of live my life that in not in fear of the fire, but to try to just make sure that my karma stays balanced, because I don't want to be going into 70 and 80 years old ducking. And Reese over there laughing, laughing, laughing.
I know that's right. Mm-mm-mm. I would never. I could never ever say in truth or honesty that I am holier than thou. I have had uh, many adventures. Let me just say, I've had some wild adventures. Some of them I probably could have done without, but they were all learning experiences. The idea that you've never made a misstep, or as young people, this is how we arrive to the journeys. This is how we get to our age. I'm over 50, so it's you you just, life is not a straight line. Shit, you're, oh, excuse me, you're going down winding roads and up hills and taking plunges and doing living your life. And so whatever it is you are doing, we are we are life.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, you are brainwashed into feeling guilty for living your life. A society, parents, relatives, friends, enemies, whatever, everyone is going to have an opinion of who they think you are,
Mm-hmm.
because again, we are brainwashed into feeling guilty for living our lives. And with religion, these strict lines are drawn. These very strict and dogmatic lines are drawn, which to me is the perversion of the message. It is a perversion of what we can call God's words. It is it's perverse, and it actually falls on the ears, the hardest, that it falls on the ears of some of the men and women of God, if you know what I mean. And maybe they don't think they're doing any harm. Maybe they believe the crap that's coming out of their mouth. Maybe they do. Um, it's perverse.
Yeah.
No one should have to be judged and made to, or othered, or left out, or have their humanity stripped from them, because we're all different. We're all different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was gonna say whether it's intentional or unintentional, the hurt is still the same. The
Yes, it
effect
is.
on people is still the same from the judgment and everything. And it gets in the
Mhm.
way of people don't want to admit that they like certain things, or this is my favorite thing to do, or to be themselves. And it hinders them, personally. Like me, another one of my favorite things is to dance. And it's so funny because when
Yeah.
Tanya was on her show yesterday, you were talking about the significance of dancing. And I believe that wholeheartedly since I was a child, because I would
Yes.
feel the energy emanating off of me when I was dancing to my favorite Michael Jackson song, honey. That
Yes.
was my thing. I would just be dancing for hours in the back room, and it drove my parents crazy. I know. I'm sorry. I apologize for blasting that for almost 4 years straight. My adolescence was filled with Michael. It was horrible for them, but it was great
Beautiful.
for me. I mean, when I graduated from I can think when I graduated from high school, I played Don't Stop Till You Get Enough on repeat and danced from the moment I got home to, hours and hours in the night. It was, and you could just feel that jubilation and everything. And I would think of, like, I can't forget, especially during that time when I listened to that song, I was just thinking of my future and like how I wanted my future to be great and I wanted to do all
Yes.
great things and it would be huge. And, so there is a lot of power and energy in dancing and just letting yourself go. And you don't have to look cool. I was never the person,
Right.
even when I got out of the house and moved, me and my husband moved in together.
Oh,
I would
you
go
were
out
once
to the club.
married? Oh, I didn't know you were.
I am I have been married for what is 2023? Since 2011. So I got married at
Really?
21
Mm-hmm.
and I have been with my significant other all throughout for most part of high school. So we've been
Wow.
together since 17. Uh
What a
and
love story.
yeah, he's seen me. He lived through the Michael Jackson phase. He remembers. He vividly till
Yeah.
this day. He's like, I love Michael Jackson now, but you ruined it for me for the next 2 decades, okay? Because that you
I
just
lived with him every day. Oh my God.
But see, that's funny because it's like when I like a song, I will put it on repeat and play it
Me too.
100 times.
Me too. It's for me. I do the same thing. I sometimes, and also that's the way I learn music. Just as you loved dance, music was and is my comforter. Jesus says that he would send us. Yeshua says, I will send you a comforter. And mine is music. And it has always been. So I hear a good tune and it's on and cracking. And I can be singing badly. It really doesn't matter
Yep.
because I'm just enjoying the tune. It just,
Hmm.
yeah, that's a
Mhm.
favorite thing. So
Mhm.
I call
Mhm.
and I had many private concerts. It was during the lockdown. It was almost like being that little girl again who stood in front of the mirror and said that she was going to be a jazz singer and is that which she spoke of. I
Mhm.
probably should have thought more in the terms of like uh, there was a guy named Tom Waits who said I should sing punk rock or something like that. That music didn't speak to me. It was our music that spoke to me. So that I love when I hear a good song and especially when you hear like three good or four good songs in a row. It's like heaven. It is heaven.
Yes, it is.
I just got Spotify, a couple of months ago. And I don't know how long that platform has been there, but I have missed out.
Yes, it's been around for a while.
I have been
I
missing out.
I have baby recently I took money from my account and I'm thinking I didn't even know I had Spotify. I mean, really?
You
Well,
must have signed up for
since you
a
have the
trial.
money, I guess I go check some things out.
I mean, it's wonderful.
I
Really?
love
It is
Spotify.
wonderful.
I love
Spotify is
Spotify.
amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you once you know actually start paying, it's like you can't go back to ads. You cannot, because it
Yeah.
messes up the whole vibe if I'm jamming and then there's there's
Oh,
an ad for a nail grower or whatever it
yeah.
is.
See, I
Yeah.
am completely the opposite. I ain't paying. I'll
For
listen to the
See?
ad. I
I,
ain't paying.
I
If
can't
it ain't
do
free, it
nothing.
ain't for me.
Well,
I
I
can't.
think they have a
I
really
started.
good.
I can't go back. I can't. You can't try and then try to go back to free. You can't do it. I bet you cannot.
I got
Yeah.
rid of my Netflix because I wouldn't subscribe with my credit card. I would go buy a gift card and just keep
Mhm.
reloading my balance. I had put like $300 on my Netflix, and then they changed their policy to where they wanted your bank account number. So I was like, well, I guess I don't need Netflix no more.
Plus, the
Uh-uh.
prices of Netflix have really escalated.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
their content. I
really
mean,
bad.
there's probably two shows I want to see, but I am not going to subscribe to their platform to watch two shows.
Mm.
That's
No.
why Amazon Prime ain't got me on Prime yet. I buy the gift card, load that into my balance. Two
Mhm.
things happen. I can't be hacked.
Yeah.
They can't steal a gift card, baby, once it's
Mhm.
loaded. So it's like, I feel safer that way, and then I don't my credit card information ain't floating all around.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's how literally um those accounts and those trials is how 90% of people get their credit cards hacked.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you sign up for a trial something and you
Mhm.
put your credit card in there and then you forget,
Oh yeah.
and now it's on the black web.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have
Mm-hmm.
a service that alerts, though. It really does. And fortunately, I've only been hacked um, maybe once or twice. And my thought is, shit, if they can work magic with it, the best to them, because that's
Hey
what it's
Sharon.
going to take is
Hey,
magic.
Sharon.
Hey,
Sharon,
Sharon.
Sharon and Risa, we got some folks in the house.
Big
Yeah.
hugs. Big hugs. That's right. I
Mm-hmm.
was just gonna say when we were talking about having a song on repeat, man, I wore Human Nature out. It was bad. I used to fall asleep to Human Nature and just leave it on repeat over and over.
Shoot.
It was terrible. It was. I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. It was good music though. It's good music.
So is that
Well,
your favorite song? Is Human Nature your favorite song of all time?
Um, I would probably say so. I mean, it's stiff competition. There's been some songs that I really like. Cause I'm a dancing girl. I love
But I'm talking about it if just your song.
mm.
specifically. Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
probably at the top of my list there.
Mine is Tina Turner. No,
Really?
no, 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 it's not Tina. It's not
Wow.
Tina Turner. It's I Will Survive. It is
Oh,
That
okay.
is Gloria Gaynor.
Gloria
Yeah,
Gaynor.
yeah.
I Will Survive. That's my anthem. Because it's
Yeah,
like
that was a big
out
one.
of every part of my life that has been difficult that I have overcome has been accentuated with that song.
Mm-hmm.
You tried to break me. You can't break me. I will survive. Just
Amen.
walk out the door and leave the key.
Yeah.
So you will take that song over "I'm a Survivor" by Destiny's Child.
I'm a survivor. Destiny's Child is not my generation. I'm 57. So the song, you got to think, the song that is dear to you, even though it's out of your generation, because that was way before you. But I Will Survive was literally songs that were playing when
That
I
was
was
an anthem.
breaking up with people, being
Yeah.
broke up with, you know. I
Yeah,
mean,
that was an anthem. That was
that's
a
that
big
was my
thing.
I won the karaoke contest that got me to California to the
Wow.
finals. singing I Will Survive,
I
and
will
yeah, singing I
No,
Will
no,
Survive.
no, no. I will survive. Da, 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 da,
Long as I know how to love, I know I'm still alive. I've got all my life to live, and I've got all my love to give,
I'm
and
like, what do I make you a
I
mom,
will
Aaron?
survive. Hey, hey.
yeah,
Do,
that
do,
was an
do,
anthem.
do,
You know,
do.
I'm going to do on my channel, I've spoken to an icon. Uh, I mean, her family, the laws are like jazz and the classical, and there when funk and jazz began to come together, and I mean, the music that I know felt and feels like music to me. So I'm going to do a show about the evolution of Black music, which has impacted the world. So I'm going to have Eloise come on, and a friend of mine who is a well-known name, Lee Hensel. He had a blues, he called it Space Age Blues Show on this public channel called WRFG. And he's a historian. So we're going to get on, and I want to, as far as I can remember, I want to bring our music through the ages up to what we now call music, which is different than, as Tanya said, the music that I grew up on, the music that I'm drawn to, the music that I love. It's like I didn't know much about Destiny's Child. Because I was listening to Esperanza Spalding, or some of the young titans coming up out of Lincoln Center. You know, I was listening to people her age perhaps, but their groove was different, you know? So Destiny's Child, and some of the voices that were birthed from Beyonce redefining, um, redefined the woman singer for the Gen Zers, I guess, because the voices at that time to me began to sound similar. Singers kind of wanted to pattern themselves after Beyonce. So for me, it was, unless they did a banging tune, it was difficult for me to know who was who or who is who. So forgive me. You know, I do my best to keep up. Forgive me.
That is okay. You're more than fine, Jace.
Let me see. Since we went from mind to body, you like to dance. I like to ride my bicycle.
Woo.
Yes.
Half stop. Do
That's
you
my
ride in
happy place.
traffic? Do you ride your bike in traffic? I mean,
Yeah, I try not to here. This is
okay.
like you come from Nevada. You know
Yeah.
that's a death wish.
Well, exactly. Anywhere. I mean, I tried to ride in traffic in LA and it didn't end well. So,
Mm.
Oh boy.
oh
And
yeah.
yeah, no, but here in Henderson, we have, I mean, probably hundreds of miles of
Okay.
bike trails. So, I mean, on road, off road. So,
Hmm.
I ride, I was riding every day until I got COVID, and now I'm struggling and I'm sad about it. So,
You get back. That's wonderful. Because
yeah,
stationary bikes. All right, bike riding would be exercise for me. When I
no,
remember
that's
my
my
dad
happy
and I, we
place.
used to ride bikes. You know, kind of as a family. I loved going out and riding bike with my father. Um, but now I don't. It's the only exposure I've had to a bike is in the gym when you're on the stationary, which is no fun. Even with the, I mean, if I have music, that's cool. But now they have these screens where you get the virtual person
Uh-huh.
to egg you on. Stationary bikes are boring. I don't care how many films of of highways and byways and hills and stuff you
No,
put on the
you're not
screen.
biking.
If
You're
I'm
just
not like biking
pumping
where
your
I can
legs.
actually experience that, gee whiz, it's boring.
Yeah, I love to bike. I loved the other thing I love besides biking that does with my body and mind is my art. I love to draw. I love to express myself. I draw, I paint, I write poetry,
Mhm.
I write books, I write. And I'm going to rewrite a very important, not rewrite, I'm going to unedit.
Mhm.
I'm going to unedit my best book and then try to
Wonderful.
reshop it because I changed the ending of my book to satisfy another person. And I am convinced that's why I have not been able to get it picked up.
Mm. Mm.
And I got to change it back. Well, or I got to change it to what's true to me.
Mhm.
And it's a good book.
Oh,
And
well,
I
I'm
think this one,
wait. I
this
can't
one could
wait.
be
I love reading a good book.
this one could be a lifetime
Movie.
movie because it deals with some shady issues.
All
Oh
right.
yeah, some deeply is adult issues.
Yeah. It's called Life.
Spicy.
Mhm.
Yes. I can well do it. Get it
Oh,
together
I'm
and
going to.
get her published. I
I
would
am.
love
Telling
to
you.
read it.
Well, I and see that's the thing. My and I'm going to do a selfless plug for myself over here.
That's right.
That's fine.
Here's two of my books that are in print right
Oh,
now.
wonderful.
So this is
This is
there we go. Jonas and the Pride of Fiona. This is my first book I wrote, and Jonas and the Legend of the Dark Forest. This is the sequel.
tell us about the stories.
Please do.
Oh,
Please
Yeah.
do.
Jonas, my books, my baby. Okay, Jonas and the Pride of Fiona. This is about a bear who was alone in the woods. An old bear who was alone in the woods, and
Mm-hmm.
all he wanted was a friend. So
Mm-hmm.
one day he's walking down to the river to get him some fish and water, and he sees blood along the trail, and he's like, somebody's hurt. So he follows the trail and he finds a lioness that is trapped, has a paw trapped in a bear trap.
Oh.
So he has to convince her that he's not there to hurt her first,
Mm-hmm.
and then convince her to let him get close enough to help her. But in the interim, she had just given birth to twin cubs. So she's caught in this trap with two newborn
Two
babies
babies. Ooh.
that she can't care for.
Oh.
So he gets the trap off of her, carries her down, picks the whole lot up, takes her down to the water, helps her with her wound, and then takes her and her cubs back to his cave, where the winter comes and she's hurt badly. So
Mm-hmm.
he's helping her, and they become this little
Family.
family.
Yeah.
And she gets strong enough and then leaves to go hunt because the cubs, Jonas has just been catching fish and feeding it to the cubs.
Mm-hmm.
And mother's milk and fish is all they get. And she's like, they got to eat meat or, they're going to be messed up.
Yeah.
So she's like, I'm strong enough to go, but it was still winter. So she left the cave and she didn't come back.
Mm.
So Jonas couldn't leave because this is supposed to be it's winter. He's supposed to be hibernating. He couldn't leave. He's taking care of the cubs. So he was like, he's just praying she comes back. But the whole story is about him loving a species, something different than himself,
Mm-hmm.
taking in the children, because she does pass. She don't come back, and he
Right.
winds up raising these cubs to a certain point, and then he's on a mission to take them to literally. He loved them enough to make sure that he got them back
To
to
a
where they
pride.
belonged.
Yeah.
So it's a wonderful story because the story is it's faceted, multifaceted. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the story of Fiona, and her mate, whose name was Soul, who was killed on the savannah, and that's how she got caught in the trap. So it's a beautiful story. This and I my my dream for this is a Disney movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this the sequel prequel is when Jonas was a little boy or a little cub. Um,
Okay.
and it's about his adventures with his best friend until they grew up and had to part ways. This is a beautiful
Wow.
story.
Wow, Tanya. That's great. It
That
really is. Wow. I see
yeah.
Disney. You know, the beauty of this medium that we're enjoying right now is that what you spoke is absolutely possible. You know, you could you could film this and get picked up by a large company. The story is absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I enjoy watching animal videos. That's another favorite thing. And the ones that I really enjoy watching are the odd couples.
Mm-hmm.
The animals that
Animals helping each other.
helping each other, you know, or an animal becoming a parent to cubs or
A
species
whole
that
different
adopt them. You
species.
know, it's absolutely beautiful.
But that is the universe is that is the agape love that we keep. And
Exactly.
the animal that if we would look to the animal kingdom, I mean, there's a lot of violence in the animal kingdom, but there is not
It's only when they
gratuitous.
want to eat or
It's
when
not
they
gratuitous. They
right
don't kill for sport or
fun.
fun.
God, that's what I'm saying. And I think I asked this question on the last live. Is the ultimate lesson for us to love, period.
Mm-hmm.
To truly love you one another as I have loved you. The beauty of love, you know, I don't like to get involved in religious beliefs because every every religion, going Muslim or Buddhist or there are just a number where I think that that spirit of love blanketed the planet and blankets the pattern and shows up in ways that's familiar to where you know they look like the people or something. I don't get involved with that because I thought if we could just understand that we just create this beautiful mosaic in this world, and when you begin to go outside of what you think you know and study other cultures and stuff, you realize that you're more alike than you are different, and all of
Mhm.
them believe in a superior being, a God. We can call it God. We can call it the divine. We can. It's all about that love that you can't even explain. You know, it's just all encompassing. And I wonder if that is the lesson that all of us on this beautiful blue marble are to learn to cease focusing on how we are different and embracing more of how we just are. You know, how much
Mhm.
alike we are. I mean, we are, you know. Do you think that's the lesson that we are here, the ultimate lesson, and the lesson that the universe is attempting to tell us? You know, like I manifested, and whether you believe in the manifestation of Yevtu or Buddha or Allah or the divine, the infinite wisdom, infinite love. There's so many names, none of them sufficient to describe what we experience every day. The miracles of waking up in the morning. What about that? You know, just that's
Can I
beautiful.
say something? Because I just have to put this out there for everybody. Because I just got this little jewel and I think everybody could benefit from it. every time, anytime anyone asks you how you are doing, how you doing today? How are you?
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are feeling your absolute worst, say the opposite of that. Because what you say is what is going to manifest for you in the next moment.
Hallelujah.
So if somebody say, how you doing today? And you say, girl, my bunion's hurting, my back is hurting, my neck is hurting, you gonna be in pain all day long.
Mhm.
But if somebody say, how you doing? And you say, girl, I woke up this morning, I got both eyes opened, it's gonna be a wonderful day.
Yeah.
Then everything that is bad will get better, and everything that is good will become great.
Great. Yeah, we focus. That's the lesson of all of these religions, or they're teaching, they're telling us that instead of looking at what you don't want to happen, speak life into the things that, because your words are powerful. Speak life into the things
Yes.
you do. And you're right. Sometimes for me, I have to start by faking it. I might not be feeling all of that at waking up and getting started, because sometimes I do wake up and there's something that has troubled me, and something is troubling. But you can convince yourself, just fake it, shit, dance, sing, do your best to lift your spirit so that you can enjoy the beauty of the day. We are life. We are the expression of the divine. And I don't know that everyone, well, I guess, do you think that with all the chaos, for instance, all the willingness for people to show negativity, to be negative before they show something loving, how, I mean, how do you reconcile that and not be affected by it? How?
Well, we have to change ourselves. When negativity, when other people are negative, and this is the truth, even though we don't want to say it, when we walk out there and people are being negative, or we are being negative, we are projecting and receiving.
Mm-hmm.
This like looking in the mirror. So to change that negativity is to change ourselves. We have to change, because if we're irritated by the actions of somebody else, we're
Mm-hmm.
participating in it.
Right.
So, and there's two ways to do it. You could either walk, if somebody is being abused by somebody, then you can become the mirror and stand in front of the person that they're cussing out or whatever. And then
Mm-hmm.
because it breaks the spell that they're under, because it's not the person that they were focused on. You ain't got to say a word. Just step in front of the person that's being yelled at.
Yes.
And see, people don't understand. They want to put out their arms. They want to do this, but you don't have to. You don't have. In fact, it's better if you never say anything. In fact, if you turn your back to the person who is yelling at somebody, and you face the person who is being yelled at,
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of walk them backwards away from the crazy person,
Mm-hmm.
you break you shatter the mirror.
That
Mm-hmm.
exact thing happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes.
exact situation happened to me.
Tell us.
And you are correct. Well, it had to do with, I think I was like 19, 18, 19 at the time. Living at home with my parents, and my husband, then boyfriend, was there. Now, my mother was already in a foul mood, and it happens from time to time. And she thought
Mm-hmm.
that I looked at her some type of way, or I had some kind of look on my face, and she just zoomed over to me. Now, she never hurt me, but she grabbed me and did one of these. Like she just shook me a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I tell you that man, he materialized in between her and me. I don't know how he got it was almost instantaneous.
Mm.
And he got in between and he didn't do anything. He didn't really say. He was just like, no,
Right.
no. And all of that. Then, of course, she turned on him and got upset. But she knew she was just like, I wasn't going to hurt her. And none. But she knew she respected him because you stuck up for my daughter. Even if it's between me and her, you stuck up for my daughter, and she couldn't say anything after that other than I love him. He's a protector.
Right. Right.
You know, so that's my little story.
Mm-hmm.
It works. It
Yeah.
works. It works. I'm
It
like,
does work.
Yeah.
It does work.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It
Don't have
does.
to
That's
say
what,
anything.
I'll
That's
tell you
what
a
life
time
does.
when that worked for me in the prison. I had I told Tia this one I think yesterday. I had a riot about to pop off. It was right after the baseball game. It was on the basketball court. All the inmates was on the yard. Everybody was out and they was all circled around the basketball court. So here I am. Like I said, the baseball game had just finished. So in the prison that I worked at, I was the captain. So I was watching the game. So because the bat is a weapon, after the game
Yes.
is over, captain or an officer takes the bat back. But I was watching the game, so I had the bat. So I see what's going on across the yard. And here I go like Joe Clark with this bat. I got this bat. I'm walking across, and this whole time I'm talking to myself like, oh my goodness, I hope I ain't got to stop nothing. I get over to the basketball court. Now I tell you the whole yard was on all the inmates was on the yard. I mean all the inmates was on the yard. That is in prison, that is probably the scariest moment of your life.
Yeah, I bet.
Because everybody is out there and ain't nobody talking. So I walk to the basketball court and there's two dudes. And I hand the bat off to somebody or I laid it down. I don't even know what I did with it. And this is the crazy thing because that could have been used against me. And all I did, I put my hand on this dude's chest and I put my hand on this dude's chest. And I said, this is not going to happen.
Right.
And I swear to God, may he strike me down dead if I'm lying. They went home. The yard locked down. Nothing happened. They just went home. I got put under investigation because of this.
Why?
Because I didn't initiate ICS. I didn't go into the emergency system and call for the yard to be locked down. In this investigation, they interviewed the inmates who were involved. Guess what they found out? Why the whole thing never happened? Because I never initiated ICS. That was the go. If I would have said, Captain Stingling to Safford Control, I'm initiating ICS, I would have had a full-blown riot.
Right.
I never initiated ICS. I said, this is not going to happen. They went home, and the folks that ran the prison tried to get me in trouble for stopping a riot.
I'm
That
glad
was the first story you ever told me. That was just incredible.
I'm glad you transitioned to that because I was going to ask you, what is it like to work in a prison?
It is ridiculous.
Every day. I mean,
it is terrible. It is the lowest vibrating place you can exist in. It is like light does not penetrate. There is so much negativity. But one thing that I can say is, I never treated inmates like they were less anything other than people. Okay, they were already in prison. It's not my job to punish them. They are already being punished.
Right.
And my job in life is to literally speak magic into any person I come into. So, I never had an issue with the inmates. It was always with the officers. The inmates are going to do what the inmates are going to do. They're trying to survive. They're trying to make money. They're trying to get their alcohol. They're trying to get drugs. These are men
best of being in that control situation.
But the problem is when you have officers, dirty officers, who are trying to make money or find love or whatever, get caught up in the game that makes prison a real dangerous place. Because it only takes one male or female to be having a relationship with a high-powered inmate who has any type of clout that can destroy, could cause the death of a lot of people over an officer because he or she is bringing in cell phones or drugs or just giving up the poo nanny.
So that is not just what you see if you watch the movies or something, where they depict life behind bars.
It is a pit of vipers, and most times the people who are in charge are the vipers. And I have to say, because if prisons were run with any type, if they were trying to they could be run humanely, people could be rehabilitated.
Right.
They don't want to do that. It was not designed for that. This is modern day slavery. So everything they could do, they don't do. And they make it, they keep it, Arizona keeps their prisons segregated. And if they were desegregated, you would only had 1 year of trouble, and then everybody would have learned to live together. Arizona remains segregated to keep the races pitted against each other.
But you have that Joe Arpaio.
He's a piece of human filth.
That exactly.
He was a profiteer and a cruel individual.
You can look at him and see the cruelty in his face, the sadistic nature in his face. He oozed it. It was like it came out of his pores. I don't think the prison system was ever. You're right. It's modern day slavery. I don't think the prison system ever was to rehabilitate. But I have a question: How did you become a corrections officer? Was it something that you went to school and did criminal justice, or how does a woman become a corrections officer in a male facility? That is, that's badass to me.
Let me tell you. Now, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna show you how much the universe had a hand in all of my life. I was working at Osco Drug Store. I was a manager and I was a pharmacy tech. So I was making, back then it was probably only about $8 or $9 an hour, but that was like in 1991, 92. Somewhere around there, which it was still that was a decent salary back then. And for some reason, it came across and this thing that just said Arizona Department of Corrections, and it said they'll be testing next Wednesday. Call this number. I don't know why. I had never thought about it. I had wanted to be a police officer. I had wanted to be in the military, but I didn't think I did not seek to become a corrections officer. I went, I took the test. It was crazy. And then I had to go to Phoenix to take a physical, and I failed the physical. I failed the eye part. I have a congenital birth defect in my eyes. I don't know. A lot of people might not see it. A lot of people say they don't notice it. I notice it because one of my eyes wanders in to my nose, and it's noticeable to me. And I probably now everybody can see it.
Now I'm going to be looking for it. Okay, so I'm moving.
But that's okay. It's me. I can't change it.
Right.
But I don't have, or they say I don't have 20/20 vision, and that was a requirement to have 20/20 vision or to be able to be corrected to 20/20, and I cannot be corrected to 20/20 in that eye. So I wound up typing a letter to the administrator of the Department of Corrections, the then person who was over it.
Excuse me, Tanya.
The doggone rules for me.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
You have a troll in your comments. 69. Okay, Sharon got Omega or 69mega.com or something. So I guess Sharon deleted it or put it into the pits from whence it came.
Oh, okay.
It's just those nasty bots that pop up on people.
Yes, the bot patrol.
The nasty bots.
So yeah, so I typed out this whole letter about if you give me the opportunity to be a corrections officer, I won't let you down. And I mean, in that letter, I had actually said that I would strive to go to the rank of deputy warden. And I made it to captain before the politics killed me. I could not do. In fact, my deputy warden is the reason that I retired, because I was that, or I was going to throw him through a window.
How many years did you do this?
22 years.
Oh my.
Full retirement. That's the universe.
Wow.
I did 22 years and retired when I was 51 years old.
Wow.
What a full retirement. Yes,
and
sir.
Talk about synchronicities, because my grandfather was also a correctional officer for like 15 plus years up here in Ohio.
Wow.
He used to tell me stories all the time when I was growing up. Sure did.
Wow.
Oh, you want to hear another crazy story?
Sure.
Yes.
This is a crazy story. Okay. Now, a full-blown riot had already popped off. I was at home. I get called in, and I lived in staff housing. So my response time is literally 1 minute. So I throw on my uniform. I rush to the yard. I get into my yard. The warden is sitting we call it the crow's nest, like this, with his hands in his head. I look out the window. My yard is going ape. I'm a cuss. My yard is going ape shit. There's fires. There's chases. There's screaming. It's nuts. I got a whole, it's called DART. It's like a SWAT team. It's our armed response team. They are sitting on the patio, just like watching this. And I turned to the warden and I said, can I take the DART team on the yard? And he said, yeah. So there's a whole protocol that's supposed to be done. I ain't followed no protocol besides getting permission to take them out there.
Right.
Now, see, before you take them out there, you're supposed to make them load their weapons. We skipped that whole part. Just skipped it. DART 7 is supposed to be walking in the middle for protection because it's an unarmed person. Y'all supposed to have a whole armor on. Just forget all of that. That ain't gonna happen either. I'm gonna walk in front of the guns so that even if they was loaded, they can't shoot. I got a full-blown riot. And I mean, this is a circular yard. And here I marched them out there and I'm yelling. Did I have a megaphone? I might have had I did have a megaphone. I had my megaphone. And I'm just yelling. We had this written statement that we had to make. Clear the yard or I'll be forced to use violence against you. Some poppycock. Anyway, I'm screaming that. But they're moving. The whole yard is moving, and I'm just marching in front of the guns who are in two straight lines behind me, unloaded.
Oh my goodness.
So now, but the inmates are moving. So I get them all against one building. So they're kind of lined up, them and us. There's 9 of us. There's 300 of them.
Oh my.
I told the dart team line formation. So they went from 2 lines to straight out like this. And this one boy said, they ain't got no guns. And then he said, oh shit, they got guns. And I'm still standing in front of the guns.
Mm-hmm.
So they can't shoot. Even if they had bullets in the gun, they would have had to shoot me. So I'm like this, and I'm telling these inmates, lock down, lock down. And I'm saying it just like that, lock down. They locked down.
Wow.
I had not been on the yard in 10 minutes. No bullets, broke every protocol, put myself in more danger than you could imagine. If I should have been fired for something, it would have been that. But riot over, went behind and locked the doors, marched the dart team off the yard, picked up the broken inmates and took them to medical. Riot over.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's the universe.
Amen.
This dumb bunny would have been dead.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm saying. You are not alone. When I tell people, trust the universe, you have made it through everything that you have made it through because you are supposed to be here. You have things to do. Don't worry about, don't put your energy into being sad. Don't put your energy into thinking that you are nothing. Don't put your energy into believing that you don't have no power. Honey, scream out to the universe. Open your eyes. Open that crown chakra and learn who you are. Every one of us here is here for a reason, and all of us have special abilities. Yes, we do. We just have to learn what they are. And when we know our purpose, nothing can knock us off path. Nothing can knock us off path. We can slow ourselves down.
But that part.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure myself out. I have inclinations here and there, but I'm like, I don't know.
my baby Tia, your whole thing, everything about you starts and ends with just believing that you are as magical as you think.
As you are. That's a scary thing,
you
though.
You just gotta believe in yourself, honey.
It can be frightening because I began to just say I'm just fascinating. That's it. I have to live with it. I'm a fascinating person, as are you, and I'm learning more and more about how fascinating I am. With each relationship, each conversation, I'm now, I think, just having more fun than anything else. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying it more and appreciating it more also. We are all fascinating. What the universe, the spirit of peace that descended when Tanya was in a very dangerous riot situation. That's powerful. I mean, so we can say amazing. It was. There aren't words that we can use to describe that. But then in the Lord's Prayer, Yeshua says that thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth. It's not that we are waiting for the will of the universe. We have the power. We are the battery. We are the light. have the whole purpose is to have it here, and we can invoke that. Hey, poopies. See,
Bailey.
I want to. You make me want a dog every time I see your companion. I just miss my baby so much because she'd be in the thing. She would insist on being part of it. But it's just it's awesome. I am a proverbial student, and I was studying earlier today, uh, and the whole lecture, the whole message is what all of the ascended masters, you call them what you will, the angels, which are very real, the angels are real. Your angels, your guardian angels, the ones that watch over you, are real. You are, I really feel, especially for Black people, and this may sound, it's not a racist statement at all. But in the 11th chapter of Hebrew, it talks about, it says, the first verse says, now faith is the subject of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. We are the seed of Abraham. Could you imagine? And I don't know that anyone, maybe somebody has. It's usually given to Leonardo da Vinci and the other ones that, you don't hear about the Black brilliant philosophers and musicians. You have to go searching for them because all the information that anyone passed on, Greek and Roman, they culled or ripped off from Ethiopia because they thought they knew, they didn't think the people were gods. They knew they were. They knew they were. And we are the seed, the dream. I mean, we live Black people on the soil of the United States of America are the reason that any of this is maintained, because whatever we endured and suffered, and no one can, just as those within the Jewish faith or religion think about the ancestors that perished in the Holocaust. We know that some of ours perished in the passage, or before they weren't cooperative, so they had to be killed on the sword. We are the seed. We are the seed. And we are magic. We are magic. We have been brainwashed to be toxic toward each other. Mm-hmm. To this religious thing, this Western, gonna say what it is. This white man, the Roman Catholic.
Say it. Don't be scared. You want me to say it? I'll go there. I ain't scared.
This westernized thing that is called religion, or this westernized version of what the true meaning of Christianity is, that there is no such religion, and the spirit of love that descended didn't come here to start a religion.
Religion is control.
That's control. That's all it is. And it keeps you from acknowledging the brilliance, the light, the life that's in you. We get hypnotized into thinking that we don't have any power.
Well, what religion does is it forces its believers to look outside of themselves for that which is inside of all of us. And that's what causes duality. That is what sends man to hell, is that he stops believing that God is him, that he is God, and that God is some being that sits
up in the sky,
reaping
judgment.
Yeah. Yes, 1,000%. Do you ladies have your cards by you at all?
I do. Okay. I brought them over. Yeah.
So what I want to do, because we've been on here for almost an hour 30, it has been magical with you guys. I love working with y'all. I love talking. Like I said, my spirit family. I appreciate
Yes.
y'all so. And what I want to do before I let y'all go, before we go, is can we, or can you two specifically, because I pulled my card, but if you want to pull a card for us at the end, whether it's like an oracle card or just something that just ends this wonderful time, uh, a representation, of the communion that we've had
Yes, 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 yes.
on the go out.
Absolutely. I am gonna. I'm gonna do pull some oracle cards, and I'm gonna. What I will do is pull one from each deck. Is the moon full right now? Is the
It's
moon
waning. I think it's waning. Let me.
so that it was
Yeah.
full not long ago?
Yep. It was in Cancer for
Yeah,
the
it was in
past few
Cancer.
days.
That
Yeah.
I
Let
knew.
me see.
I'm going to pull one oracle card from these beautiful cards that Adrian from Red Lentil Healing, when she has a giveaway, I
Mm-hmm.
was fortunate enough to call out the number that she was thinking, and she sent me this beautiful deck called Work Your Light, and I love these cards.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I love the way they feel. They're very hardy. You know, the stock is very hardy. And then I'm going to pull one from Abiola Abrams, African Goddess Rising. I just want to do that. Yes. Thank you. Mm. And so, are we asking for a message for the three of us or for all in the chat? We're asking for the world. We're asking for the week.
We're asking for all of us right now.
All right.
Oh, you
Yeah.
want? Can I go? I
Sure.
only pulled one card.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I only pulled
Go
one
ahead.
card, and I've got it is the Four of Cups inverted, and this cup, I always call my cards cups, is seizing opportunities, letting go of regret, end of stagnation, motivation, enthusiasm.
Mm,
How you like those words?
Oh, yes.
love it. That's beautiful.
That is. That is beautiful.
Seizing opportunities. Here we
That's
go,
what we
ladies.
doing.
That's
Seizing
what
that
we do.
That's
opportunity.
what we
Make it
doing. Yeah.
happen.
In the moment.
Oh, this is what I got because I pulled another one of my oracles here. This is the starry beginning. This is when I want to get in my, universal alien bag. But so it says be, feel, receive abundance. And
Yes.
it says all that you desire is achievable. Look at that. That's pretty.
Yes.
Oh,
Is that a
yes. Oh,
supernova?
it's endless. It's endless. It's endless. Okay.
Mhm.
Let me see. I'm trying to get used to these readers.
Oh,
Let me see. Temple and Queens. Page 70. Just let me get it together because this is. I'm still sitting. I've been sitting with this deck this weekend, and I just have this message because I pulled a card. I just felt this card from which would be called the Temple in Queens. And I don't know. I don't know. This girl just I was just feeling her, and that's the Queen of Sheba.
Ooh.
I'm just feeling her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she's referred to as a goddess of secrets revealed. The origin is Ethiopia. She's a temple queen, and her element is fire. In the Bible, the wealthy queen of Sheba brings a caravan of gifts to King Solomon. The Ethiopian holy book reveals that she was their queen Makeda, and together they sired King Menelik the first. Her guidance is open our eyes. Secrets are being revealed, and it's safe for you to see the truth. Your inner vision is crystal clear. You don't know what you don't know. Your creator, ancestors, angels, spirits, and ascended masters are whispering to you. This is a divine intelligence. Pay close attention. There are things you do not let yourself see. Allow yourself to be guided. Choose your own path. And your declaration is I am connected to the divine.
That is a beautiful card.
Yeah, she stands out to me. I don't know. She she was on the top of the deck
Mm.
after I shuffled. So thank you that that our eyes are open, that
Mm-hmm.
we do acknowledge the divine that abides within us, within all of us, that the beauty of the creator, the beauty of the Lord, the beauty of God, whatever you call this magnificence that is this unexplainable magnificence, the beauty of that is upon us, and
Mm-hmm.
it's establishing the work of our hands.
Mm. That's beautiful.
This is how, and then you'll be able to acknowledge your ability to create what we call miracles or whatever. You, we have been walking around with our eyes wide shut,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
So true.
and no, goddesses, we cannot, we're not allowed to continue to do that.
Oh, and with that, I think we are going to wrap it up. Thank you both for being. Hey,
Yeah, Bailey.
Bailey!
I mean, does he? I know Bailey here. You hear us. You is talking about you.
Mhm.
You hear us acknowledging your presence, you beautiful spirit.
Bailey Boo.
Yes, yes. Well, he or she.
She.
She
Yes.
she is so chill and gorgeous. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mess around. There are two beautiful cats that are around. I don't know. People move from here and they leave their pets behind. And one looks like it has a Siamese mix. She looks like an expensive cat, and one is just a black cat. And for some reason, they do come to my door. I speak to them. I do help them understand that there's no room in the inn. So yesterday, I like to crack the door to get fresh air, and I look to my left, and I see this black cat emerging from underneath the bed. She just
Oh.
walked in. She's bold, and I screamed at her, "Get out!" And she went underneath the bed, and she went out. She didn't stay. But seeing you hold Bailey makes me, I just long for my little Sasha. Or I've been looking at puppies. I just enjoy the presence of animals, those loving animals.
Well, I tell you what, this is a manifestation. When I had always said when I retired, I wanted I wanted like a basset hound or old sheepdog,
Mhm.
something that I could sit on the porch with, would sit at my feet. Well, then I found out that I am very, 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 very allergic to dogs.
Hmm.
So I never had, and I've always had a dog around, but never one that was allowed on the furniture or anything
Right.
like this. I custom, I dreamt this dog into existence. This is a manifestation. This is the yin to my yang. She is, she does what I do. I ride bike, she rides bike. She does not have a problem being shoved into a backpack to
Hmm.
go hike up a mountain.
All right, girl.
She's chill. And I'm saying this is
She is.
everybody has got to realize what you desire. Speak it into the universe and keep speaking it and believe what you are saying. Believe it and watch it come to you. Watch it happen.
Yeah.
The belief in yourself and belief that the universe does not want us to have hard times, does not want us to be alone or lonely.
Yes.
We ask for what we desire, it will be made manifest.
Oh, yes. Thank you for that.
Truth.
Yes. I enjoyed it too. Thank you for having me over, Wrestling.
Of course.
Thank you, TT.
It's time for me to schedule the next visit. Will be y'all be coming south.
Yeah.
I,
Whose house are we going to
It's
next?
my turn to
It's
hold.
your turn.
Yes.
Okay.
it's
So
Jason's turn.
so uh is it next Saturday at this time we chat, or what works for you all?
Well, let's talk about that off
Let's
screen.
talk about y'all screen. Yeah. Ain't none of y'all business until we get it worked out. Thank you to everyone in the chat too. I don't know 69 Omega.
Hi,
You
Risa.
know, so
Hi,
if you want to
Mother.
stay over
Hi,
here and learn
Sharon.
something, you might learn something, okay?
Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Jace. Thank you, my soul sisters, my soul family, my homies,
Yes.
my road dogs. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Shout out to you. We're going to see you next time at Jace's house. Okay.
Yes.
Let this trifecta merge up,
Amen. Amen.
and we love y'all, and we'll see y'all soon.
See you later. Bye bye. Enjoy your weekend.
I
Enjoy
love
it.
y'all.